turning inside out. Beautiful move. Trying to get the shot on. He holds. He shoots. He scores! Absolutely.
The pitch. High fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV Studios in Bethel Park. We got a little change up, folks. I got a breakthrough case of COVID pneumonia. Got it diagnosed on Friday. They gave me a special fusion treatment that helped lessen some of the symptoms, but I'm under quarantine, so I'm doing a Zoom show with my boys. So I hope you enjoy the Zoom show. And we got Facebook Live, and we'll just carry on, and we'll start the show. Let me get a drink of water here so I can talk for a few minutes. All right, we're going to try to do our normal promos. So I'll try to bring those puppies out. We'd like to thank Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Let me see if I can pull this up, folks. I'll try to listen to what Nick said, bring it close. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, look at that. 412-831-1900, Hillcrest Shopping Center. I'm not eating a pizza virtually, but they get an XL pepperoni pizza. Nick got a special hoagie, gluten-free, and
not gluten-free.
They just took care of my boys.
Just lactose-free.
Is it really?
Yeah. I just got it with that cheese and mayo.
Nick did very well. I let him run free, and look what he got for himself. All right. We end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Joey before DIPG, after DIPG, dreaded brain cancer that took his life at 8 years old. 6 years ago, the family raised over $100,000. They started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. So check them out. It's a 501c3. I may do a little abbreviated stuff, but I'm doing my best I can. I'm struggling a little bit here, folks. I'm feeling a bit weak, a bit tired, and, we'll just carry on. Next up, we have Always Be Smiling. It's a great Facebook page, 501c3. They lost their son, Bennett, at 16 and a half. They wanted to get 1,000 likes, and I got it for him on December 5th. So thanks to all of you and all my friends liking their page, and they reached their goal of 1,000. They thank all of us and me for doing that. It means so much to them. All right. We'll move forward a little bit. Let's see how I'm doing here. No A2 on this tonight. All right, Bethel Park Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. Got the red trolley there, can't miss it. My favorite tea place, Reginald's Coffee, and just a great place, 1905 schoolhouse, been totally remodeled. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has a great auditorium for events. They got great uniforms. What the heck, Smokin Jim with his bottle? What the heck is he doing? I just caught that. I was trying to focus on what I'm posting, but he's up to no good. Smokin Jim is a bad man. All right, we'll come up with another local business. We'll see if we can pull this up. Senior helpers. There, we can pull that up. 412-851-3223. They help people like me that have some COVID and other issues. They're your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents. They help for people. Call Jeff, 412-851-3223. And they just help older people out. And they're 100 Broughton Road, so check them out. All right. Let me get through some of this. All right. We helped a lady that needed a kidney transplant. See if we can pull her up, Kathleen. There's her picture. She lives right down on Boyce Road, and she asked for a kidney. She was functioning at 17%. She's at 16%. She wants a living donor like my son, Drew, and she got one. She's not sick enough to get the transplant, but we'll announce who and when is giving her a kidney when she's down to level 15, which I was when I got my kidney. So, Kathleen, best of luck to you, and glad we could help you out. All right, another 501c3. Excuse my coughing, got a little bit of a COVID cough. Wanted Bethel Park groups and organizations who need money. We have from $100 to $5,000 in grants. Go to bpcf.org. You can get some of the $1 million we gave out in 25 years to local businesses and organizations in Bethel Park. So check the money out. It's all good for you. All right, got that good sheet of paper right here at home. A1 got it for me. Let's see how that looks.
Yeah.
Look at that sheet.
Smokin' Jim, who's
I want
that?
you for BPTV.
Oh, real quick, who's that character, Smokin' Jim? Who, you remember?
Yeah.
You want to tell us?
Uncle Sam.
Hey.
Give me an A. Give me an A.
And he just learned it last week, folks. Uncle Sam was promoting definite war bonds.
Who's that guy on rock?
Fighting wars. And he also helps promote BPTV. If you want to be a volunteer like Ethan, who's new, A1, A2,
Evan.
Ryan, Nick, you name it, you can be a volunteer. 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable you want to volunteer. And even though Ethan is still in high school, Kevin. Oh, Kevin, sorry.
Evan.
I got that name mixed up from Smokin' Jim. I figured I'd add in the fun and frivolity today since I'm not there. But even though he's a senior there, he does go to Bethel Park High School, Smokin' Jim. That's a little fun and frivolity there. Now, I don't know if I can do this next one. This is a little tough. Usually I call out A2 on this. I got to clear my laptop off. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to pull it right in front of the camera as close as I can. It might be whited out.
Oh,
There we
there we
go.
got it.
If it's white, it's all right.
Gates Service Station, 6103 Library Road, red, white, and blue station. Skeets Lewandowski owns it. And you can call him 724-348-4715. I'll let you see my face. They work on anything and everything that runs on gas. They even work on electronic devices. They have a smorgasbord every Monday, so check it out. You can get pig's feet, crawdads, and you name it. Whatever they have available, just ask Smokin' Jim. He loves it there. And they may even have non-gluten stuff, so check it out. All right, and then he sponsors What's on Our Mind. So, Smokin' Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green, you
Hold
got
on.
to see Levine. Oh, good catch.
No, look, there it is.
Good
Look.
catch.
No, hold on, Smokin'. Hold
He
on.
cut the bottle.
There it
There
is.
it is. Touchdown.
The green was sent to Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Chase
and I'm gonna let
Claypool
him
for
talk.
another touchdown.
I'm going to let him talk for a little bit because we don't know what year that was or what he was doing, but it looked cool. So,
Well, Levine, the talking machine, in respect for our Anthony, Tony from Chick-fil-A, or Ethan, Kevin, and Evan, I got the top 10 linebackers in Pittsburgh Steelers history. Number 10, D. Robert Stonewall Spillane. 10C,
Wait.
Lawrence Timmons. 10B, Robin Cole. Number 10, Vince Williams. Number 9B, Chad Brown. Number 9, James Ferrier. Number 8, Jason Gilden. That was 8B. Number 8, Lamar Woodley. Number 7, Mike Merriweather. Number 6C, Dennis Dirt Winston. Number 6B, Henry Davis. Number 6, Kendrell Bell. Number 5C, Bud Dupree. 5B, LaVon Kirkland. Number 5, James Harrison. He got to be in the top 5. How about 4B? Joey Porter. Number 4, Andy Russell. 3B, Kevin Green. Number 3, Greg Lloyd. Number 2B, Jack Ham. Number 2, Jack Lambert. And number 1, TJ Watt. TJ Watt. And that's what's on my mind. The Steelers' top 10 linebackers of all time.
Smokin' Jim, wasn't that 16?
I counted 10.
Okay. You went to Gateway, correct?
The University of Gateway. Correct.
Did you take math?
No.
Okay. We understand that. Thank you.
I won baskets. Mine was pink.
All right, let's move forward with Nick Callis. What's on your mind?
Couple things. I've been starting to miss Chip since he's been gone, so we're keeping him in our thoughts and prayers too, because he had his heart surgery, so he's still recovering from that. But I miss talking baseball with him. I'm actually kind of sad he's not here. And speaking of baseball, there's still no baseball, and there's still no news of baseball because they like to stay locked out of the league because they still the Players Association and the league still haven't come to terms. So that's kind of upsetting. What's also upsetting is that the Steelers lost a game to the Vikings, a team that lost to the Lions, but the Lions tied with the Steelers. And yeah, it's all just the NFL this year is just in a really weird cycle. Teams are losing to other teams that they shouldn't have, but beating teams they shouldn't have. The Ravens almost bailed themselves out of an awful game again. They got the onside kick, but then they were forced out of a 3-and-out. They couldn't convert, and they lost to the Browns by a possession. So I mean, the NFL is weird this year. I've just been thinking about that. I'm still mad at the Steelers, and everybody talking about it could have been the greatest NFL comeback of all time. Well, in order to come back in a game, you have to get down. And the Steelers this year, more often than not, have been woefully unprepared to start games. It's been evident. And here they are now. This past Thursday was no different. And I don't expect too much to change in the weeks to come. I hope it changes, but don't expect it to. So that's what's on my mind.
Good job. Best gluten-free hoagie I ever had.
It wasn't gluten-free. Oh, and it was just lactose-free. Gluten's something different.
Nick, you got to explain to Smokin' Jim what gluten even is, because I don't think it's in his wheelhouse.
I need some almond cheese.
Wow.
That's not it. All right, your turn out.
I'm just stunned. I didn't realize how this is. Where did Smokin' Jim write his info down about? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, where's your list of Major League Baseball pitchers? Can that be for next week? You did just the hitters.
I'm taking requests.
All right, I request you do a top 10 of baseball pitchers.
Okay.
There it is.
There we go. All right,
That should be
what's
fun.
on my mind? I guess I got to address it. I didn't feel confidence about the Steelers starting out strong. I was right, and I wasn't feeling well, so I just went to bed. And I went early, and I got up, and I saw that the Steelers somehow didn't score in the first half. Then I saw somehow they were dependent on some rookie to catch a pass that Ben threw at the end, right, hit him in the hands, and he dropped it, so they weren't calling his name out. And they were just pumped up that the Steelers could have, should have, might not have won a game again. And look at the offensive line. When I saw the beginning of the game, I go, how come Najee gets hit before he gets the ball? So how did the offensive line get worse as the season went on, and that we should think that they could be in the playoffs? So I'm not thinking that anymore. The season's basically over, and Dan Rooney is looking down with tears in his eyes on what is my baby boy doing to this team. and on that happy note, we'll be back with some fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. We got the VIP of BPTV. We got the captain, Anthony, in there running the crew. Never a hair out of place. We got my man, Ethan, Evan, Kevin, doing his thing. I heard he goes to Bethel Park High School.
Yeah,
He's
you
a
heard.
senior.
You heard right, Smokin'.
And then we got the ladies, man, Tony, sitting down on the job. Did I mention my man Ryan, the best editor going on the planet?
Didn't you do editing, Smokin'?
Yeah, I'm a pretty good editor.
Unbelievable.
I passed.
Yeah, he passed.
I'm a little out of
Hold
practice.
on. I can do a disclaimer. Smokin' Jim told me he had to take editing at PCTV. They forced him to do it, so he was forced not to learn anything. And he graduated the class without doing a thing.
If in doubt, look about. That's what I did, bro.
Well, you
God.
looked about and you found out you'll never edit. So carry on.
But, hey, everybody knows on draft day of 2018, I predicted that Devin Bush would be an NFL bust and the Pittsburgh Steelers bust. So I just wanted to, with fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac, go over some of the other busts in Steeler history. How about Dickie Leftwich, black running back out of West Virginia, the first black player the Steelers ever drafted in the first round? The white player says, let's see if you can run without any blocking. And he couldn't. We got Bob Ferguson from Ohio State, never lost a yard at Ohio State, never gained a yard for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We got Greg. Save your answers for the end. Greg.
No, this is a question.
Save your question for the end. Greg Hamstring Hawthorne. Can't make the club in the tub, Darrell Sims. How about Aaron Jones? I know Al Levine, the talking machine, is like, I remember these names. How about terrible Tim Worley? How about Tom Ricketts? How in the world does the Pittsburgh Steelers think anybody from Franklin Regional High School can play football? That was a first-round bust. How about Huey Richardson? How about Jermaine Stevens? How about Troy Edwards? How about Ziggy Hood? How about Jarvis Too Slow Jones? Artie Burns, the worst cornerback in NFL history. How about Terrell Edmonds, who probably only got drafted in the first round because Mike Tomlin went to the prom with his mom? How about Limas Sweed? How about Alonzo Jackson? How about Mike Adams, Dre Archer, Ricardo Coakley, and the biggest bust of them all, Devin Bush. And that's what's on my mind. Walk back down memory lane a little bit. A first-round bust in Pittsburgh Steelers history. And question over here, the guy in the blue.
So, you mentioned that one of those guys was a running back who didn't get blocking.
Yes.
Does that make him a bust because the offensive line didn't do its job?
Well, you got to remember, he was the first black player that the Steelers drafted in the first round.
I think it's time for the race car.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a little history. He made so much money as a rookie, the white offensive lineman was jealous and said, let's see if you can run without no blocking. And he couldn't.
But is that his fault?
Pardon me?
Is it Najee's fault now?
Huh?
Is it Najee's fault now that he can't run?
Najee
without
may be NFL Rookie of the Year. What are you talking about?
But he struggled to run the ball this year because he doesn't get blocking.
Yeah, but
that's been proven.
But he got some yardage.
I didn't say he didn't get yardage. Think about how much more yardage he could have if the team could block.
Look at the way he's catching and running and blocking.
He's a running back. He's got to run the football.
Because of yoga, he don't get hurt. He's real flexible. A couple times he almost got hurt, but he does a lot of yoga.
Why is James Conner doing so good now, too? By the way,
Pardon me?
without the Steelers, why is he doing so good?
Congratulations!
Are these guys
Are
these guys busts
James Conner made the Pro Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers the first year after Le'Veon Bell left. But James Conner was a brittle brother most of his career here in Pittsburgh. He's staying healthy out there.
But are they busts? If the offensive linemen, those guys who are supposed to pave the lanes, don't do
I
their
don't
jobs.
believe I got James Conner on this list. What list? Is he a bust on your list? Because he's not a bust on my list. I can't wait to get you with my pictures. Satchel Paige and Violet Blue, here we go.
Violet Blue? What did you say? Violet Blue?
Violet Blue.
Oh goodness, I was gonna say.
You heard of me?
I have.
And that's it, Al Levine, the talking machine. How you like the list, brother? Brought back some memories, huh?
Yeah, it brought back some memories. Not good memories.
There you
Thank
go.
you. All right, let's go to Nick Callis.
All right, I got an opinion today, and that's to do with Pitt football. Again, still excited they won the ACC. I'll give a couple opinions, actually, because we have a significant amount of time. First one, Kenny Pickett did not win the Heisman. Do I think he should have won the Heisman? No, I mean, Bryce Young had a better year statistically, and he was favored anyway, so it wasn't a huge surprise that he didn't win the Heisman. But I also want to keep this in mind for everybody who's upset that he didn't win it. The Heisman Trophy recently has featured names like Tim Tebow and Johnny Manziel. And we saw, Tim Tebow failed as a starter, tried to play baseball, and then came back as a tight end. Johnny Manziel is Johnny Football. One of my favorite one of my favorite NFL player stories in the history of the NFL, at least for the times that I've been following since I've been born. So keep this in mind too. Kenny Pickett, I'm certain, will transition and be a good quarterback in the NFL, and that's really what matters. You want him to celebrate as much as he can as a Pitt player, but when you think about the grand picture of what his career is going to be like, Pitt is only just a fraction of the talent he's going to bring eventually to the NFL. And think about the bust of the Heisman Trophy as well. We don't want Kenny Pickett to go down as a Johnny Manziel, and I don't think he will be. He's a nice guy, so keeping that in mind. Don't be too upset about it. Bryce Young did deserve it. Hopefully Bryce Young doesn't become the next Johnny Manziel or another bust either, but hopefully he becomes one of the prestigious names and doesn't be an idiot. But Kenny Pickett not winning it is not the end of the world. Number two, we brought this up before. should Kenny Pickett play in the bowl game? And I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no. The opinion on that is that he should be able to decide. Does a college football playoffs have it now where a bowl game doesn't really mean much? Whether the Pitt Panthers win or not in the bowl game at the end of the month it won't change how their season went. They're either winners of the bowl game or they're not. There's no further they can go than the Peach Bowl. So if Kenny Pickett wants one last ride to win a bowl game, to play with his teammates, that should be okay. If Kenny Pickett doesn't want to risk injury, doesn't want to hurt his draft stock, because he's already seemingly going to go up to an NFL team sometime within the first 1 or 2 rounds. So if he doesn't want to hurt his draft stock, if he doesn't want to get physically hurt, and he wants to just ride into the draft, let him. There's no reason to be angry with him. I mean, his coaches are telling him, hey, it's your decision. His family and friends seem to be telling him, hey, it's your decision. So I kind of take that same approach. None of us are Kenny Pickett. I know plenty of us out here who aren't talented enough to win an ACC championship or go to a bowl game. We're not that talented in football, so we don't know how it could be. There are a lot of factors that Kenny Pickett gets to think about, and I think that those factors are some that not all of us consider. So, I mean, considering that Kenny Pickett is Kenny Pickett, and we can trust that he's going to do what's best for himself as it relates to his career, because we want him to have a good NFL career. We don't want the bowl game to be his end as true Pitt fans. So keeping that in mind, let him make the decision. He knows what's best for him, and he's got enough supporters in his inner circle that can guide him toward the best decision for himself. 2 opinions for the price of 1 today. What?
If Kenny Pickett does not play in the bowl game, I will trash him for the next 6 months. First of all, none of us was good enough to be ACC Player of the Year. He wasn't good enough for the first 5 years of his career. What Pitt did for him in that program and his teammates did for him this year is going to make him a multi-millionaire. When me and El Levine, the talking machine, grew up, whatever you start, you finish. You know what I mean? There's so many guys out there that would die to be able to play one more game with their teammates. It's all about your team. If he walks away from his team after what all that Pitt did, because he was a bum for 5 years, and now he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, that's because of the University of Pittsburgh provided him an opportunity. And if he doesn't play in the Peach Bowl, I will trash him for the next 6 months on every station I'm on.
Well, Smokin, he doesn't have he has to make the opportunity happen, right? Like, you can't just get an opportunity and do well, right?
No, he got an extra year because of COVID.
Right. He got an opportunity.
He got more years. He got more years to play football than anybody in the history of college football.
He still could have been mediocre though before that, right?
Well, he could
have not been one of the greatest quarterbacks.
What would have happened last year? He would have been undrafted.
And will he make millions? Will he make millions if he gets hurt in the bowl game?
Well, if you're already thinking about getting hurt, I don't want him. If you don't want to compete, if you're thinking about getting hurt, I don't want you. What's going to happen when he's up for his second contract in the NFL? He's not going to play that last game of the season because he's getting ready to get that big second contract? What are you talking about? He's setting a precedent. Oh, he's a quarterback. Just slide this time instead of fake slide, and you won't get hurt.
Well, most games in the NFL, if you're on a good team, most games matter. The bowl games in college football don't matter.
Does it matter to his teammates? They've been wanting to go to a bowl. They've been wanting to go to a decent bowl for the last 10 years. This is a decent bowl. In Atlanta, the Peach Bowl, that's big-time bowl.
Anybody who knows college football knows that the system is broken.
I don't know college football?
No, I'm saying anybody who knows college football knows that the system is broken.
What's broken about the system?
Where are we going after what does the bowl game mean?
They get to go to college for free. For 5 years, they can get a master's degree for free. Would you like to get a master's degree for free? What's broken about that?
What am I going to master in?
Huh?
Basket weaving? What do you know about mastering?
If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have been a general studies major. I'd have majored in park and recreation.
So what are you talking about there? What are you trying to talk to me about degrees for? The system is broken.
Hey,
the ball
you
game
guys
don't
can
matter.
debate this
Thanks,
after I
Michelle.
leave, but I have to leave you with one nugget of wisdom from Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football. His dad was quoted as saying, "At least my son trains on beer and Skittles," and he said it on national TV.
Yes.
Machine,
And
can I
I'm
ask
gonna
you?
leave you guys.
Can I ask you one question, Machine, before you leave us?
Yeah.
L. Levine, the talking machine. We all played athletics. My man Tony's a player on and off the field. L. Levine, the talking machine. The Peach Bowl is national TV coverage. That's like the Super Bowl. Everybody in the country will be watching the Peach Bowl.
What?
It's the only game on TV. How can you pass that up if you're a competitor?
Smokin' Jim, here's how easy it is. If you think it's going to jeopardize millions of dollars, just like a Bitcoin, if you would have lost
Yes.
a Bitcoin,
Yes.
you would have done anything for that Bitcoin. It's still only $49,000, buddy. So I don't know
Is it
how
going
you're
down
going
a
to be a
bit?
millionaire.
Is it going down
So-
a bit?
15,000.
Let me explain something. Kenny Pickett, by lasting 6 years, could become a millionaire.
Yeah.
You aren't going to become a Bitcoin millionaire if you can last 5 years, because it's holding steady at $49,000. When I talked to you when it was 60,000, you said you're going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
You aren't. You still aren't. But Kenny Pickett could become a millionaire. So let him make the best decision. At least he didn't train on Skittles and beer. And I got to leave all of you. Hey, thank you for letting me on the show for a bit. I'm getting a little tired and weak, and I'll try to be back next week also, and enjoy the rest of the show, folks. I'm just proud and honored to keep my streak alive, and I'm just trying to stay alive here for you. So enjoy the night.
Thanks,
Bye,
Machine.
Bye-bye.
All right, well, I guess without God, we'll come back with some Steeler talk, right? We'll come back with some Steeler talk. You're watching Pittsburgh Sportsline. All right, Steeler talk. Give me your thoughts, Smokin'.
Well, first of all, I'm very proud of the Pittsburgh Steelers. For them to be 6-6 with that crap coaching staff that they have, and the offensive line, which I said at the beginning of the year was the worst I've ever seen in my life. And I just hoping one more year for Big Ben. I think he's surrounded with outstanding talent. Najee Harris went from being homeless to a Pro Bowler.
Oh, did he?
Potentially. Yeah, and
When was he homeless?
he was homeless his whole life. Yeah. Him and his mom was eating out of garbage cans ever since he was a little kid.
Oh, didn't
Yeah.
ESPN say that? And it actually wasn't true.
No, it's true. It's true. And there's some good things in the garbage can when you're hungry, brother. Free soup kitchen. But
Oh gosh.
listen, the white tight end fire move. I said before the season, I've never seen a guy with the body control that he has, and he's proven me right with 11 touchdowns. He can do things with his body that
Like
you
fumble
have
the-
to be born with.
Like fumble the ball away against the Lions.
Well, yeah. Did he fumble against the
Yeah,
Lions?
yeah.
All right. But I think he got a chance to be great. I don't think Ben wants to walk away from the second greatest tight end in Steeler history, second only to Eric Green. He's already better than Heath Miller. I think that Ben is now starting to get on the same page with Claypool. I think that maybe if James Washington comes back next year, and I think that Johnson, number 18,
Claypool.
is a good weapon. Yeah.
Everybody in that stadium knew that there was a first down, especially because Claypool pointed with the football.
It was fourth down. That was a big catch.
But they-
I like guys that get excited.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he wasn't thinking.
Oh, he wasn't.
It's your job as a leader, the quarterback, and the leaders of the team have to tell the people, if you catch the football, give it to the referee or put the ball down. You got to tell these young guys that. So I fault not only Claypool, but I fault the leadership too.
Can I share a story with you?
Yeah.
Let me share a story with you. So I'll use a baseball analogy here.
Okay.
When I was a catcher, right, if the umpire gets hit, as a catcher, you're supposed to take the ball and you're supposed to walk it to the pitcher, because that gives the umpire time to like just kind of walk it off and heal.
I never heard that.
On the same token, as an umpire, as I grew up, I learned, well, if the catcher gets hit with a ball,
Token?
what?
I thought you said token.
No. If the catcher gets hit while I'm umpiring, well, then I take a ball and I go walk it. Don't throw it. Walk it out to the pitcher and just say, hey, let's give him a few minutes. It's just etiquette. So there are things that we learn in youth sports that we translate to professional sports, right? Like you didn't, like there were things you learned in high school football that got you to college football, right? At Cal U. Yeah, okay. So it's the same thing. So like, if I'm learning at the age of 13 to do these little etiquette things to make the game better, to have respect for the officials and for the players and for the time spent playing the game, then how wouldn't a guy like Claypool have the wherewithal to go, hey, we want to win the game, let's go. I don't care where the spot of the ball is in this case. All that matters is it needs to get spotted so we can snap it.
Well, I played a lot of baseball in my life.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know about the etiquette from the catcher, so.
And you were a pitcher, weren't you?
Yeah, I was a pitcher.
Huh.
I mean, I did my own.
So an umpire never came up to you and went, hey, yeah, your catcher just got banged up. So.
I didn't listen to nobody. I had a heater.
Yeah.
I was throwing heat, bro.
How long did you play baseball?
I played baseball half my life almost, it seemed like. I played all the way.
What age did you stop playing?
I played all the way to Pony League.
Pony League, so like 13, 14?
15.
So there's no... 15's too old for Pony. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Colts starts 15.
What's that, Legion at 15?
No.
What
Well,
is
you could play Legion. You play Legion high school.
What's
Legion leagues are interconnected with the high schools.
what's
so
the end of Pony League? See, in my day, Pony League.
you got Pony League, Colt, Super Colt.
No,
so,
we didn't have all that.
Okay,
We
well,
didn't have that when I came up.
well, when I played, which was only 5 years ago,
See, we have Farm League. We have Farm League.
Farm League.
We had Little League. We had Pony League, which I played through, and then we had Legion. So maybe
Okay.
that's why they probably moved it back.
But to come back to come off the tangent, if you actually played baseball, there's no way that you wouldn't have had interaction with an umpire who would have came up to you and said, hey, your catcher got banged up.
I don't remember.
You never talked to umpires before?
I don't remember.
You ever talked to referees in football?
Huh?
You ever talked to referees in football?
I better not. They throw me out of the game. I'm
Really?
usually the only black guy on the field. I better not back talk, brother.
What was it? You were a running back, right? You play running back?
I played every position there could be to play.
So you never
brother.
went to an official, you said, sir, I'm on the line, or sir, I'm off the line.
No.
I was a fullback, and I knew if I ever had to go out to the slot, which was next to never,
I knew my place.
I got to make sure the official knows,
I knew my
sir,
place.
I'm on the line. Sir, I'm off the line.
Well, I was
right?
always team captain, so at the beginning of the game, coin toss. You know, the referee,
But you never talked to an umpire? Were you captain of your baseball team?
No,
No. Okay.
no.
Oh, that says
Because
something.
I didn't always show up to all the games in baseball.
There he
Hey,
is.
if I was riding my bike to a baseball game and I seen a pretty girl, chances were I wasn't going to make the game that day. Just being honest.
Oh, sure.
I love playing baseball, but I love girls more.
No doubt about that. Check out your Facebook page. Check out his Facebook page. You'll find the girls. No, I'm gonna disagree with let's have Ben for another year. I don't think he's molding well with the offense, though. He has proven that he's not like washed up, but he's also like he's not a good fit at quarterback anymore. I think somebody's got to come in and not do the Ben offense anymore. I mean, look what the offense is doing. Next to no points. They're being outscored. I saw a statistic 58-6 in the first half. Did you know that?
What are they doing in the second half?
Well, here's the thing. If they weren't outscored by that large of a margin in the first half, they might have won more games with the second halves that they've
But
had.
they run the Ben offense in the second half. That's why they score a lot of points. In the first half, they're running the Idiots offense that's been fired from every college team he ever coached.
Are you telling me that
And
they
this
don't?
is only his second year coaching in the NFL. He's been fired for the last 30 years from every college job he ever had.
Matt Canada's been fired?
Yes, from every job he's ever had, except for Pitt. He left Pitt after 1 year, and went to LSU, and LSU had the greatest show on turf. They fired Canada because he couldn't get nothing out of it. The next year they won the national championship without Canada at LSU.
So why did Ben want like his other offensive coordinators to be fired from the Steelers?
No, he never wanted Bruce Arians fired. That was Bruce Arians was his right-hand man, his ace Bakun, his pride and joy.
Why'd they get rid of Arians?
Todd Haley fired.
Why'd they get rid of Arians then?
That was Coach Rooney got rid of Bruce Arians
Are you? Because
so that he could bring in his cousin, who was Todd Haley. Todd Haley's related to the Rooneys.
I was a little suspicious that in 2003 the Steelers came out with a press release that said Arians was to retire.
Because they were firing him, and he said he was going to retire. If he got fired, they fired him. He said, "Well, I'm going to retire."
Yeah, but why would the Steelers be like, the Steelers got nothing to lose? We fired a coach.
They lied to Ingram. They lied to Merriweather. The Steelers lied to a lot of people.
So you just admit there's some problems in the Steelers organization, you know, like
oh yeah, plenty of problems.
Untruthfulness and backstabbing and, you know.
Bad coaching staff. They got the worst coaching staff they've had. And listen, they said a stat on one of the games. They said this is the worst defense that the Steelers have had since 1954. That's going way back, man. How in the world can you be proud of that? Listen, Bill Cowher had 8 head coaches that got promoted to head coaches off his staff. Mike Tomlin has 0, and he has 0 on his staff. These guys couldn't even coach Prime Ridgeland. When Prime Ridgeland was looking for a job, they passed over the Steelers.
It's a problem, though, when your quarterback is like the equivalent to LeBron James in the NBA, where he has to be making decisions, and all the time he has to be making decisions about the offense. He's got to make decisions about who's going to coach him, or, you know, who his receiving core is going to be. I mean,
but you want to get rid of that guy.
What?
But you want to get rid of the quarterback.
Players shouldn't be making crucial decisions. Players should be working with the coaching staff. And I do believe they hired Canada because they didn't think Ben was going to come back. They thought he was going to retire with Pouncey, and they were going to go out together.
So they hired an idiot that got fired from every job he's ever had.
But Canada might not be an idiot.
No, he's an idiot. He got fired from every job he ever had. What's your
definition
of an idiot?
Look at the AFC North.
Even the Three Stooges would call him an idiot.
Look at the AFC North. Okay, one of these things is not like the other. Look at all the quarterbacks: Jackson, Mayfield, Burrow, Roethlisberger.
Well, keep Mayfield.
One of those things is not like the other.
Keep Mayfield out of your mouth. He's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Which one's the odd player out?
I would say Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson.
And maybe Burrow.
So you mean, Lamar Jackson's a running quarterback and he's young.
Yeah, and Burrow.
Right?
And
Burrow's a young quarterback who can run.
And Burrow couldn't lead silent prayer.
Mayfield's a young quarterback who's
Burrow
mobile.
Couldn't lead silent prayer. The only quarterback that's
they're only leading the AFC North.
Who?
The Ravens?
Baltimore. Yeah.
So you said he can't lead anything.
Well, somebody got to lead it. Somebody got to lead it.
They're leading something, though,
they
right?
got the best coaching staff in the AFC North as well. Harbaugh.
Which quarterback's not like the other in the AFC North? I'd say Ben. Ben is old and immobile. Injury prone.
How's Brady doing? How did Drew Brees do the last few years?
Drew Brees couldn't throw more than 10 yards in his final couple of years. Tom Brady's an anomaly that will not be seen for a long time.
We're seeing it here in Pittsburgh.
They got
20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. How much more you want?
Every time he throws an interception, he looks at his arm like, "Oh, am I going to be injured next half?"
Because he has the worst offensive line ever, and he has the worst coaching staff ever.
So now the offensive line's bad.
Yeah, they're the worst ever.
I'm saying that you get a quarterback who's not lacking mobility, and you
pick him off a tree. Do you pick it? I mean, how do
you pick him in the?
You pick him off a tree. Do I need to make a list next week of all the busts the Steelers quarterbacks had?
Yes.
I'll have to make that list.
I want you to.
Tony from Chick-fil-A, the list is coming.
Bust for quarterbacks. I want to know who the best pitchers have been from Major League Baseball.
Black pitchers or pitchers?
What?
Black pitchers or pitchers?
Oh, there's the race card again.
I'm just
even
asking.
check- don't even check flag.
Because last
see if
time
he
I
said
put
it.
somebody in from the Negro League and you had a problem with Josh Gibson. So,
I don't think it's fair to compare the two leagues, though. That was
Papa Bell, Satchel Paige. You know,
all right. Let's have this
Can
discussion.
I put
while
a
we
few
still-
Negroes in there?
We've got some time. Tell me, in your knowledge of baseball, how Mark McGwire saved the game in baseball.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Yes,
How old are you?
100% serious.
Talk to your dad. Mark McGwire. Listen, baseball. This is what baseball did.
Okay.
They canceled the World Series.
When? What year?
I don't know what year it was.
94.
See, there you go. Was you born yet?
No.
See, they canceled the World Series. I'm gonna educate you because I'm a historian. They canceled the World Series. Baseball went from here down to here. People said they'll never watch baseball again. The next year, here come the sluggers. Mark McGwire saved baseball with his home runs. Sammy Sosa, who I don't claim no more because he's white. He went from being dark as 12 midnights, now he's whiter than you. So I don't claim him no more. But he did the same thing. He hit home runs. Ken Griffey Jr., those guys. But Mark McGwire, listen, I've had season tickets to the Steelers since I was 4 years old. I'm at Three Rivers Stadium. They stopped the NFL game to show Mark McGwire hit number 69. Half hour later, they stopped the NFL game for Mark McGwire to hit number 70. He was so popular. He was maybe the most popular baseball player for a 2-year period.
All right. Well, let me tell you this. I'll share
He
this.
saved the game.
When Barry Bonds broke Mark McGwire's record 3 years
The
later.
game was saved already.
Yeah, but why was there still like a tilt down, right? Like there was a drop off from that year. Like Barry Bonds didn't have as prestigious it wasn't as prestigious of a moment as Mark McGwire's.
Well, as great as Willie Stargell was, he wasn't Mickey Mantle. Mark McGwire was Mickey Mantle.
But Barry Bonds is the record holder now, so why
But
wasn't
Barry Bonds wasn't like Mark McGwire was loved, and he was the first to do it. He was
But
the
Barry
first to
Bonds
break
had
that
more in a
record.
single season.
Yeah, but Mark McGwire broke a record that was held for 60 years.
Oh, so
Roger
because it
Maris.
was only okay.
He broke Roger Maris's record and saved baseball.
Mark McGwire was more popular
You
in
ever
that
hear
time.
Roger Maris?
I have. He played for the Yankees. Him and Mickey Mantle were on a home run chase until Mantle got hurt in 1961, and then Roger Maris broke the record, but it was with an asterisk.
see how-
it was with an asterisk because
See
there
how
was
see how Mickey's more popular than Willie Stargell, and Mark McGwire's more popular than Barry Bonds. You see how that comes up?
but people didn't like Roger Maris because they didn't want Babe Ruth's record to
Right,
get
to be
broken,
broken
right? So they put an asterisk by the 61
because he played more games, right?
because 1961 they were also experimenting to start that decade with a new 162 game season. So we've had 162 game seasons for over 60 years now. Pretty cool. But yeah, so they were like, nope, he played more games. He played one more game or a few more games, and
So we see now how Roger.
we can see how favoritism was played
We
in the
see
1900s.
how he saved the game.
Roger Maris,
No,
Mark McGwire,
Mark McGwire. He broke a 60-year-old record.
and
and
during
when
a
baseball
but it
was
was
down.
but it was during a race. There was
race?
yeah a race.
You bringing up the race car?
No,
What
like
race
a home
you
run
talking
race.
about?
No,
Home
so
run
we're talking about like, when two people or two teams are going for the same thing.
Please don't mention Sammy Sosa around me, man.
But it was Sosa.
I don't claim him.
There were three of them. It was McGwire, Sosa, and Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr. fell off, but those two were in a home run race.
Nobody likes Ken Griffey Jr. He's an
And
arrogant.
Sammy Sosa also hit over 61 home runs. That's why it was popular, because there was a race.
He
But
couldn't
once
talk, he
Barry
couldn't talk English until you made him mad. Then he talked it good.
once Barry Bonds broke the record, then it was like, well, how is this possible
That
that?
was after Mark McGwire saved baseball.
I
You're
realize
missing
that.
the point.
But he also hurt baseball
How did he hurt baseball?
because it's
baseball,
no. Listen,
after he
listen.
saved it, they backstabbed
Again,
him.
one of these things is not like the other. In the 1920s, Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs. And then in the 1960s, so about 40 years later, Roger Maris breaks the record.
Right.
And then 60 years later, Mark McGwire breaks the record. with somebody else, though. They both surpassed 61 home runs, but then only three years later, now Barry Bonds breaks it. So one of those is not like the other, right? One of those is not like the other. You got 40, 60, 3?
Well, let me ask you this question.
3?
Let me ask you this question. Babe Ruth was popular, right?
Yeah.
If Mickey Mantle was...
And he was only 1B on your list.
One is one.
Pete Rose.
Yeah, him and Pete Rose, one is one. Whether you're 1B or 1A, you're one. Now, if Mickey Mantle, who's one of my favorite players of all time, if he would have broke the record, wouldn't have been no problem. It was a problem because Roger Maris broke the record. Wouldn't you agree?
Kinda. I mean, everybody loved.
I got some books for you to read that I haven't read.
Yeah, Mickey Mantle was the more popular, but because he was a home run Yankee, Roger Maris was acquired from the Royals, I think.
I didn't know
Before,
all
or
that.
signed as a free agent.
I didn't know all of that.
Yeah, Mickey Mantle was a total Yankee.
I know he
throughout
got
his
some
career.
death threats. He got some death threats.
Yeah, that was the scary part.
See,
of
I know a lot of baseball, don't I?
Yeah, well, okay. Again, one of these things is not like the other. 40-year record, 60-year record, 3 years. So when people start asking questions like, why are these records being broken all of a sudden? This is crazy. Well, oh, look, steroids happened in 2005. There's an investigation done in Major League Baseball. And now we have steroids running rampant. And think about if Alex Rodriguez would have got away with the steroids he was taking, he might have broken the career home run record.
Can I ask you a question?
He was on pace for 800.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Name one Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman in the 70s that wasn't on steroids. I'll wait.
Baseball's a different game.
Oh, now it's different. Oh, it's different.
Wow.
Yeah, baseball backstab Mark McGuire that saved baseball. He wasn't the only one on steroids, just like the Steelers offensive line wasn't the only one on steroids.
Well, football is the kind of game where it's like, well, you know.
Oh, excuses. What page is that in your excuse book?
How long has the NFL been around?
Huh?
How long has the NFL been around?
Not as long as baseball.
It's not as impressive to
But
hit home runs
football's
and
popular and baseball's not.
football's the team game, too. It's like, you know, the offensive
Baseball's
lineman
not a team game?
Well, it is, but not as much as football.
How? They got 9 people out there, don't they?
Well, yeah. But everybody in football is moving on every play. Not everybody in baseball's moving.
Football is the most boring sport
You
ever.
just said it. What?
I love it. How come foreigners don't catch in on
Did you say
football?
football's
Because
the most-
you go for 15 seconds, 10 seconds, and then you take a 2-minute break, then you go for another 10 seconds.
It's
and
like a
go to a commercial. And then,
Football's like a machine. You got a machine, right?
what kind of machine you got?
If the Steelers' offensive line doesn't block, is Najee
Good point.
getting
I see
hit?
what you mean.
They're all moving at once. It is start and stop, but it's kind of like your car. You hit the engine button.
I
you
love
turn on the
football.
engine,
I
and then
love
the engine
football.
moves.
But football's boring to foreigners. They can't.
What's
they
more
can't
boring,
understand.
football or baseball?
Huh?
What's more boring, football or baseball?
Oh, everybody knows baseball. I don't even consider that a sport anymore.
Big young.
I mean, I know you. I mean, why don't you pick up bowling or golf
Bowling?
or soccer?
Have
man?
you ever been bowling?
No, I wouldn't bowl at gunpoint, but come on, I don't play games.
Okay. Well, this. Okay. All right. I'm losing my train of thought now. Baseball. You can't. You got me confused.
Yeah, see.
You wouldn't.
We both are here because we both know baseball. I'm impressing you with my knowledge of baseball.
Are you though?
Yeah.
You cannot say it was a steroid era of baseball where all stats were inflated and there was a bunch of rampant success. But the problem was it was historic when there were multiple decades in between one record being broken to another. But the fact that Barry Bonds broke Mark McGuire's record 3 years later, that's where it's kind of like, I mean, is this exciting anymore? Because if everybody's taking steroids and only home runs are being hit, like this is where I kind of agree with Chip, because
oh my, here we go.
this is where I kind of agree with him because I'm like, well, if only home runs are hit in baseball, then it becomes more of a home run derby, not so much as like
And the people
the
love
game.
it. It's a popular. You know when hockey was the most popular?
When
roller derby was popular. When you turned on hockey, because it's not a TV sport. Have you ever been to a live hockey game, a Penguin
have.
game? It's so exciting, right?
Yeah.
But when you watch it on TV, it's not. When I was a kid, I watched hockey for one reason. You knew there was going to be a fight, just like I watched the roller derby. When they took fighting out of hockey, you know, why watch it? You can't watch it on TV. It's not any good.
I was surprised at how small.
Hockey ratings is lower than Leave It to Beaver reruns because it's not a TV sport. Bring back fighting in hockey, it'll rise. Bring back the home runs in baseball, and people will start watching it. I made a lot of money last year betting against the Pirates, and I plan on doing the same thing this year. But boy, would I like to see more home runs. I would watch some games.
Well, more home runs. There has been an incline in home runs in baseball, not as historic as the 2000s.
When I pitched, and I was a great pitcher,
Oh,
there was
yeah?
two things going to happen. I was either going to strike you out or hit you with the ball. I didn't have much control.
Who'd you get comparisons to? Remember?
By the blue.
Yeah. Well, he was left-handed, so. And you are notoriously right-handed.
Sometimes when I got a little wild, they thought I was throwing left-handed.
Well, see what happens without Al Levine here. We talk about baseball, and it
Thanks. I
becomes
always
just an
learn
episode.
something new each and every time I talk to you. I appreciate
That's
that.
any final thoughts?
Huh?
We got about 40 seconds left. Any final thoughts?
Yes. Fire the whole coaching staff, including Mike Tomlin. Send him to college football.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say let's let Ben Roethlisberger retire after this year, and don't be afraid to go for the under 500 season because we'll get a higher draft pick because of it. You've been watching Pittsburgh Sportsline. Thanks for tuning in. We probably will have Val back on Zoom at the very least next week, but keep him in your thoughts and prayers as he continues to deal with COVID. And as always, stay Joey strong.